Grant Williams, and I will. He is going to do sort of a Jordan Bone and explore the waters of the NBA draft. That's what he says. He says, I'm not totally against returning to Tennessee, but, I want to go into the process with an open mind and make the most informed decision possible. A lot of people think he could be selected in the first round, a late first round pick, a little bit in height at 6'7", but a wide body. And so somebody that they think might provide, be able to play a forward position, that sort of thing. Named a finalist for the Naismith Player of the Year Award. NBA draft will be June the 20th. Will the NBA Finals be over by then? Anyway, Williams can go through the draft process, withdraw from the draft before May 29th, and retain his final year of eligibility at Tennessee. That may be wishful thinking. Absolutely beloved, if it's another place, if it's a school that maybe they don't love you quite that much, if it's, maybe you're not the front runner for the Heisman Trophy next year, and you can play in New York, anybody but Peyton Manning. Grant Williams is not Peyton Manning. By the way, Williams said he will sign an agent to help him make the most informed decision, which I would think would mean leans to the NBA. Williams follows Vols point guard Jordan Bone in the NBA draft process. Bone announced his decision last week. Williams emphasized, however, Bone's choice will not affect his. There you go. So Grant Williams, Rick Barnes coming back. Got a good guard coming in out of South Carolina. But don't expect 30 victory seasons from Tennessee with incredible regularity. 20 victory seasons? For the time being, yes. Still a good guard play coming back. Without Schofield, without Williams, without Alexander, with Fulkerson now your top post player. Yeah, that could hurt the Vols, obviously, next year. Rick Barnes coming back, yeah, sure. Although I wonder, just if you want to play this, if he had gone to UCLA, I don't think he would have been a good fit. I don't think he would have won there, I think he would have gotten a check, but then again, And then the other thing about Barnes staying is that, like I said, the Vols really tournament, they didn't win the regular season. They won 31 games, but that only matched. It did not exceed the all-time school record. Things that I know a lot of people were talking about before Virginia and Texas Tech was, boy, that's not the most exciting matchup I've ever heard of. It wasn't the brand name of Duke. The Cinderella of Texas Tech is not the Cinderella. I'm not even sure the Cinderella of Gonzaga. There is, with Virginia, that's not the leading program in the ACC in terms of hoops. It's either Duke or it's North Carolina, and then it's anybody's guess. Virginia would probably say, hey, Syracuse, that's a nationally prominent national championship winning program. Just because we did in the Big East doesn't mean, we're Syracuse. Come on. Doesn't that mean anything? Syracuse. At this time in the ACC, all right. The Florida schools, Florida State, who actually defeated Virginia in the ACC tournament, our old friend Howie Schwab liked to tell us. But yeah, that's you start thinking about the rest of the schools there, and maybe Virginia. Well, they won their first national title last night. Let's see here. Let's listen to Ryan Burrow talking about the celebration that Virginia plans after winning the national title last night.
Accepted the NABC Championship trophy with fans outside of the stadium. Tuesday, followed by a bigger celebration at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville Saturday. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Minneapolis.
Everybody is talking about how Virginia overcame their disappointing loss from a season before. I couldn't help but remember Oklahoma, who had played for the national title the year before, although they had lost to King, that Oklahoma embarrassing, but the 1-point loss as a 16 seed to Oklahoma to begin the 1989 NCAA tournament. Anyway, that was, ETSU like to say, as close as any team had come. I think it was a 16 seed that took another team to overtime, but then the game, just like this one. It's an 8-point spread, so the gamblers were happy that bet on Virginia. I thought that looked like a nice bet. All right, scared money never wins, and I didn't. Regardless, you have a circumstance where Virginia tournament, maybe you didn't even have to have a Cinderella like a Butler. Who are they? What's their nickname? No, I know Texas Tech. They're in Lubbock. I know who they are. Yeah, Bobby Knight used to coach there. Come on, everybody's talking about Chris Beard here. Come on. Anyway, but the point is that everybody was talking about Virginia. Ooh, they had to overcome last year's loss. Ooh, they almost lost to a 16 seed again. In fact,
the stuff that they talked about, I think.
Whoa, what happened there? Forgive me, folks. It cut out. Let's try this one more time, okay? Overcoming last year's loss. Forgive me, we're going to repeat this. Well, regardless, we don't need it here. I'm sorry, folks. But the point that I wanted to make is UVA overcame their opening round loss or the G League in the future. In fact, we're going to see a lot of parity. In fact, we're going to see more Virginia-Texas Tech matchups in the future. Oh, yes, we will. Maybe a reason why Rick Barnes didn't want to go to UCLA? I don't know. But without that big-time star power in college basketball, which probably isn't going to happen, Zion Williamson might be the last star of college basketball. And Nevada, or even what Gonzaga does as a program. Isn't it time to say that, yeah, the mid-majors are legit? That they're in here. They may not have the budgets, but there are 350-odd mid-major schools. And yeah, given the right circumstances, they can win with the big boys. I thought that's what the lesson of UMBC beating this year's national champion meant.
Sunshine.